At the fireside, I want to pose a question to Mr. H. I'll have to be very careful how I word it.
Fire away, sir.
Mr. H, during silly season 5 years ago, when the world went even more crazy than it is now,
Yes.
what made you not take the government prescribed medicine?
Fear. So, as you know, when they bring out medicines, they're tested rigorously. Rigorously they're tested. The thing, the COVID was just a new phenomena, and suddenly, within a couple of years, there was this miraculous medicine that could make you better. And I thought, surely it can't have been rigorously tested. I also found out, sir, that the government gave them carte blanche, didn't they? They just turned around and said, well, just get it out there, let's get it into people, don't worry, we won't come back on you. And the minute they said that, it was, whoo, big red flag, no thank you, I'm keeping my sleeve rolled down, thank you very much. It was fear. And there's a whole thing of the smell test, and it just didn't smell right to me, sir, and I didn't go with it. You have to go with your gut instinct on these things. One instinctively knows when something is right. How about you?
Do you feel any of our previous fireside conspiratorial chats may have helped put you against it, or was there nothing to do with it?
It just wasn't anything to do with it, so it was just... yes, it enlightened me, what you told me, because I was going in my own little world, and I didn't think about some of the things. You bringing these things up made me think. But it just didn't seem right, and then when people started questioning it and saying, well, hang on, it's only just come out, this, and suddenly you've got that. Oh, well, we've been working on this for years, and all we had to do this and change that, and miraculously we had the answer. No, it doesn't make sense to me, that. I know I'm only a normal man on the street, but it just didn't seem right, and no, I just wasn't going to go for it. I really wasn't.
Well, while we're on the subject of silly season, conspiracies and stuff, do you think this was something that was made in a Wuhan lab that leaked out? Or do you think it was just the flu? Or do you think COVID was an actual thing? Or do you think it was just some kind of fear-based, complete psyop?
I do think something got out. It did, unfortunately, affect a lot of people. And another thing that didn't make sense was, if you remember, they did the average age of it, didn't they? Where it was something like 82-year-old. Well, sadly, when flu comes, it does tend to take the older generation, for one reason or another. They're not looking after themselves properly. They've got too old. They've got underlying illnesses. Another thing I didn't like was somebody could get decapitated in a works, and it just was put down as if they was carrying COVID, they died of COVID. Nothing to do with the fact that they've had their head chopped off. That I didn't like as well. I think the numbers were massively inflated, and I just think everybody lost their head. People were just panicking. Even Boris Johnson said at the time, he went into a room, and they said to him, he said, give me the worst case scenario, and they said, all these people, and he thought, I don't want to be known as Prime Minister, he's wiped half a nation out. Even Donald Trump had to come out, and he got a lot of backlash. Do you remember off the, is it the MAGA or whatever, Make America Great Again people, and
the QAnon thing?
Yeah, he got a big backlash off that, because suddenly he was then prescribing the government medicine, and everybody was turning around and saying, oh, you've gone back on your word, you're part of the system now, etc. But let's be honest, did Donald Trump want to be the person who'd be presiding over such a disaster that would hit the country?
I want to say something on that. Do you remember when Trump was maligned for telling people to drink bleach?
Yeah.
Well, the bleach he was talking about wasn't domestos, it was hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
And there's a supplement called MSM, MMS, Miracle Mineral Solution. And basically it's a form of hydrogen peroxide. Now I've drunk it, and there's protocols for it to cure arthritis, all kinds of cancers and things like that. And that was the bleach Trump was on about, but obviously the mainstream media got hold of it, and everybody had a field day saying, like, you know, it's telling people to drink Domestos.
I think that was it. They actually twisted what he'd said, didn't they?
Yeah.
They actually said, you know, he's there turning around and like you say, advocating someone chugs down a bottle of Domestos or whatever. That wasn't the case. If I remember rightly, I think his words were something like, they talk about these bleaches, and maybe that's something we can look into. I think that's what he actually said. He didn't turn around and say, you know, get down to your local hardware store and chug down a bottle of bloody bleach, you know. The problem with the media is they don't like him.
Yeah.
They didn't like Boris Johnson. And any little thing that they could dive on and jump on these woke leftist people, because they didn't like him. The biggest thing now that these Democrats and thing in America will be scared of is Donald Trump making a success of it.
Absolutely.
And there will be people that work in the American equivalent to the civil service that will make damn sure he fails and falls. Yeah. I'll bet you as soon as all that was going on, wine and cheese with Boris Johnson, there was some in civil service rubbing their hands saying, this is him gone, when we want to get rid of him. We can push that button now anytime we want. There really is puppet masters, but going back to your thing regarding government medicine, no, it just never felt right for me, sir. It didn't, and it was fear. It was fear why I didn't take it. What about you?
Why I didn't take it is a massive mistrust in the people who govern us worldwide, and like yourself, there were so many people say, I don't know, instincts. You know something? I never even had my TB at school.
Did you not?
I was an anti-vaxxer before anti-vaxxers were a thing, and but my reason was everyone who had a TB got like this kind of blister mark on your arm.
Yes, sir.
And have you got one? Yeah.
Is
that it?
No, that's a
okay.
That's a fretless below it, but yeah, it does leave a scar there. It is.
Hang on, come and see Mr. H. Shows your TB skirt.
There you go, mate.
We can't really pick it up, but yeah. Come on. Mr. H. Burzall.
Yeah, it's all about that.
Right, okay. Yeah, well, I didn't want that on my arm. And I remember the fucking teacher kicking off with it, and they got my mum involved saying, why is he not having a TB? And they wouldn't let it go. And this fucking teacher, Mr. Halleck, kept bringing it up in lessons, and he worded it someday. Let me try and remember how he worded it. I'm not stupid. When a plane's taking off on a runway, I don't stand in front of the plane, and I don't stand on the. I don't stand on the runway when the TB plane's taking off, or some fucking bullshit like that. What are you fucking on about, you knobhead?
No, I don't. Something now, he'd get lambasted. He'd lose his job now. All of that. But then it was brutal, wasn't it? They could shame face you.
Well, you know, I mean, I had teachers calling me fat at school, or alluding to me being fat, and now you did that now, you'd be fucking you'd be dead. You'd be dead in the water as a teacher, you know what I mean? But yeah, I just wanted to know your thoughts on why you didn't partake, sir.
No, it was just fear. It was just fear, sir. It just never felt right. I know me and Mrs. H had the debate. She did go out to get that, and you know, she was okay with it. I think as well, some people needed that. They needed to think as they was protected.
Yeah.
I know when I did get it, I did eventually contract it. It was in Mablethorpe, and I had this like fever dream. So I was watching. I don't know. It moved to my chest, and I thought if I lie down here, whenever I get a cold or anything, it moves to my chest straight away. So I thought I'll sleep sat up, so it can't settle. And I had this fever dream where I was watching Last of the Summer Wine on UK Gold, or the equivalent to UK Gold, yesterday channel. Couldn't tell you what episode it was, couldn't tell you anything about it. My top half was like boiling, and my bottom half was freezing, and my arms, obviously, my body was fighting it, and it was taking strength from other places it didn't need it. But I came through the other side. The second time I had it, I've had it 3 times as I know of. The second time, it felt like a cold. I only knew I had it because I'd tested, because Mrs. H said, I bet you've got it again, because I used to get it every year. And then, third time, I know I had it, but it didn't stop me doing anything. And I've probably had it since and don't know. Used to get it every Easter. For about 3 years on bounce I had it. And people would ask me, has it changed your stance? No, I'm still glad I didn't have it. And my body fought it. That was the natural order of things.
Do you know what was fucking ludicrous? and it was more than one occasion. People be writing on social media. My husband had the vaccines and he shortly died afterwards, but I'm glad he had them because at least he wouldn't have died as at least he didn't die with illness.
Yeah.
Or some worded something better than that kind of thing. But end of the day, you know, I think.
Well, here's another one. Do you remember this? You'd see these people who would supposedly we got bombarded once it started getting to case of it. In the beginning, they left non-vaxxers, for want of a better phrase, or people who was resisting it alone. But as they started working through numbers and getting themselves down to people who were resisting it, you started seeing all these media stories that would all be the same. They'd show you somebody in a bed gasping and supposedly dying, and they'd all say the same thing: please give me the medicine, please, if you're watching this, please get it, you know, I wish I had. No, and it was all worded similar, and that's what they do, these media companies. They put these stories out and it's worded very same, and all of them were carrying it. You never got anybody turning around and saying, I took it, I'm now on my deathbed, if you take my advice you'll steer clear of it. No. And I got talking to loads of people on bus and things like that, and when you're out and about, they'd mention it to you, and you know, you'd sort of bring it up, wouldn't you? So have you had it, like, you know? And once you sort of got feel for somebody else as they hadn't had it, you was more open with them. And I've had people actually say they had it and they wish they hadn't.
Do you know what? Did you see that? And it was an American broadcaster, and one of the things they were doing to entice people to get it was he had a slice of pizza going, this.
Yeah, actually I did, yeah.
This delicious slice of pizza. If you get your COVID vaccine, you too can have a free slice of pizza and some fries. And I was thinking, you're like, what the fuck? I got to fucking take away and fucking buy one without fucking getting without the side effects.
Yeah, that's literally selling your soul to
off.
the devil, isn't it?
How fucking stupid must you be? Oh, fucking hell, let's go get a fucking untested fucking thing for a free slice of pizza.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People literally was selling the souls, weren't they?
You know what I mean?
And selling out. And do you remember that as well, when Hancock finally said, when they realised, obviously they'd said to government, look, there's a group of people here, you're never going to get them in without dragging them in with scruff at neck. So he come on TV and he thanked everybody who'd gone and done the right thing, as they put it. You've done the right thing. And to the other people, you are standing on the shoulders of other people. Yeah. Really trying to make you feel bad for having a viewpoint and daring to question them.
Do you think that some of these dignitaries, if you want to call them that, politicians who publicly was filmed getting the actual one or a saline shot?
Yeah, I've heard that. You never know, do you?
Did you not reckon that there was some of the pictures taken and actually we looked at the syringe, some of the syringes still had the cap on? You know what I mean?
I never looked into it too deep because I remember
there was a line of people getting vaccinated in the cars.
Yeah.
It was Schwarzenegger was one of them, and what I didn't understand was when I've known people who went for it at these centres, they said to them you have to sit there for 15 minutes.
Yes, they did.
To make sure you don't have a funny turn. Now, how the fuck are you in charge of a vehicle if you have a funny turn? So I'm wondering if a lot of these people who were trying to coerce other like the followers to have it were just having fucking saline injections.
You don't know, do you? You really don't know. And there was a case of, did you remember that, where if some sports stars had said no, they weren't going to have it, and then they were being banned from playing and all this kind of thing. All you're doing is you're just pushing people who was unsure. You're just reinforcing their fears, and you know, you're thinking, well, hang on, if you're putting so much pressure. There's an old thing, it's like you don't go and stick your hand in Fireside, do you? Why? Because it burns, it's common sense, it's a no-brainer. You know, so if it was a no-brainer to have the medicine, supposedly, you wouldn't need to force people so hard. There was even talk, sir, of making it that way, that if you hadn't had it and you couldn't produce a card, do you remember there was having a card? It was like wearing a yellow star. You would not have access to things. There was people purporting to do that.
That fucking Piers Morgan and pricks like that were saying like, if you don't have it, you shouldn't be allowed to do anything. Or you shouldn't be allowed hospital treatment, and they were calling for it to be mandatory, like kicking your fucking door in.
Well, fair enough, Mr. Morgan. Then I'll have all my bloody national insurance back then.
Yeah.
You still want me paying to the system, I take it.
Yeah.
You know, it was akin to 1930s Germany, sir. It really was. That's the closest this country's ever come to fascism.
I think it was the biggest psyop the world's ever seen. But you know what? A lot of the Firesiders who watch this, I think, I'd say 90% of them are of our way of thinking.
Yes.
It's a weird thing, but a lot of people who follow this channel wouldn't fucking entertain it. And there's some people who are pressured into it, like, I'm going on holiday, or my job says, which is fucking. It's got to be against the Geneva Convention or something like that, where you're forced to. You can't keep your job if you don't have it, you know. And I think that some people are suing now. I don't know if it's true or not, but definitely in America, I think Trump's reinstated a lot of the military that refused to have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, with the back pay.
Well, common sense.
You know, so.
It was like over here, you know, it was only the NHS. It was the NHS, there was an hardcore of NHS staff, ironically, that wouldn't have it. And if they're saying they'll not have it, what's that tell you? And there was talk of you'll lose your job, and it was only because they turned around and said, I'd rather lose my job than have that. And they forced care home staff to have it, first of all. And I don't know what government thought. I don't know what they thought. They probably thought there was going to be a big queue of people willing to wipe all people's bottoms. There wasn't. You lost a lot of people, a lot of good people in care industry because you try and force something on people. And in this country, sir, we have this thing, don't we, as British people, majority of British people, certainly of our generation. If you tell them do something and try and force them, you turn around and say, I'm not being told to do that. And that wasn't my reason for not having it. It just, like I say, it just didn't smell right. And it was a terrible time, it really was. I had people come on my channel. If you remember, I did them vlogs.
Yeah.
Vlogs, as I like to call them. And I did 50 days. And in early ones, when I was going out in woods, there was just me in some woods up an area of Wigan. And I had people come on, you're putting me at risk. How the hell am I putting you at risk when I'm in a woods on my own? There's nobody for miles around. How's that putting you at risk? Because you've dared to travel in your vehicle. And where do you live? Well, I live in Hastings or somewhere like that. Get fucking real. And that's it, people lost their minds. At that point, government could have told them anything and they'd have just believed it and repeated it, parrot fashion.
Yeah, it's...
And I don't know about you, sir. People, as I found out, who was very arsey during that period, I won't bother with them now. No, we've returned to some kind of normality. I just won't bother with them.
I had a friend with bad mental health and I supported him on more than one occasion. And he deleted me off Facebook because I put some stuff about not wearing masks. So I had a couple of people delete me, and it's like, it's just fucking sheep mentality. It's you know, I don't probably like yourself watch fucking television. I'll watch like streaming shows and things like that. I won't watch television. Never watched the fucking news for decades. I find it insulting, offensive, patronising, and predominantly bullshit. You know, and if you are like me and Mr. H, and you didn't subscribe to the government approved medicine, we salute you. But you know, it's
We're still here, aren't we, sir?
We're all still alive and kicking, and yeah. Mr. H, we've clocked in 18 minutes. That's basically a fucking podcast what we've given you here.
It really is.
Yeah,
spoiling you today.
Anyway, yeah. Any final closing thoughts on the video, sir?
No, sir. Like I said, that was it. It was fear for me, and even if it come about again, I'd do exactly the same thing again. I'd just crack on and keep my head low, and just come through the other side, and then just stuff you.
Still at the fireside. Still sticking it to the man. Thank you for watching. Please share. Please subscribe to us. We're trying to make this channel something like. And thank you once again for watching.